Thank you, masters. Thank you very much for taking time to join today's wisdom sharing session. Once again, welcome all for our good old topic that we are talking about: void, the meditation in the state of void, and how do we get there? What are the things that we need to look at? Apologies, I got disconnected. So, మన యొక్క ఈ శూన్య ప్రయాణంలో ఎలా
Anil.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are just starting the recording, going live. So just give 1 second.
I just went live.
Okay, thank you.
Can you check? Yeah. So, ఈ యొక్క మన యొక్క సాధనలో, మన యొక్క శోధనలో ఎలా సత్యాన్ని నేను అనుభవంలోకి తెచ్చుకోవాలి, ఒకటి దానిని ఎలా నేను అన్వయం చేసుకోవాలి రోజువారీలో. ప్రతి క్షణము సత్య దర్శనం అన్నారు కదా. నేను సంవత్సరానికో, లేకపోతే నెలకో, లేకపోతే వారానికో, లేకపోతే ఒక రోజుకో, ఒక గంటకో, ఒక నిమిషానికో, ఒక సెకండ్కో కాదు, ఒక్క సెకండ్కి, ప్రతి క్షణంలో సత్యాన్ని దర్శనం చేయమని. ప్రతి క్షణం సత్య దర్శనం, అదే కదా మన నానుడి. సో అలా నేను చెయ్యాలి అంటే ఏం చెయ్యాలి అంటే రెండు చెయ్యాలి అని చెప్పింది శాస్త్రం. ఎప్పుడైనా కూడా ధీటుగాను చాలా సూటిగా సమాధానం ఇస్తుంది. నిత్య అనిత్య వస్తు వివేక, ఆత్మ అనాత్మ విచార అని రెండు మాటలు చెప్పింది. ఏది నిత్యము, ఏది సత్యము అంటే ఏది ఎప్పుడు ఉంటుంది, నిత్య అనిత్య. ఏది ఎప్పుడు ఉండేది, వచ్చిపోతూ ఉండేది అంటే మార్పు చెందుతూ ఉండేది ఏది అనేది ఎప్పుడూ నీ ఎరుకలో పెట్టుకో. రెండవది అతి ముఖ్యమైనది ఏంటంటే ఆత్మ అనాత్మ విచారణ. ఏదైనా మనకి జరుగుతున్నప్పుడు ఇందులో సత్యం ఏమిటి అంటే నేను ఏ స్థాయిలో చేస్తున్నాను, శారీరక స్థితిలో చేస్తున్నానా, మానసిక స్థితిలో చేస్తున్నానా, బుద్ధిపరంగా ఆలోచిస్తున్నానా, ఏమిటి అనే దాన్ని చూడమని. దీనికి ప్రధానంగా సాధన ఏమిటి అంటే శూన్యంలోకి వెళ్ళడం అని మనం చెప్పుకున్నాం లాస్ట్ టైం. ఇప్పుడు నేను శూన్యంలోకి వెళ్ళడానికి అపరిమితమైన ఆ శక్తిని లోపలికి తీసుకోవడానికి I have the eligibility. Thank you, ma'am. I'm glad that you have put your video on, so now I can talk in English. Yeah, you just reminded me. Thank you very much. So what happens is when I am getting into the state of void, how am I able to get into the truth? How am I able to realize the truth? This is the real thing. Okay, what is enlightenment is all about. Why I need to get to that. How enlightenment is helping my life get out of my miseries, get out of my worries. So there is a state of confusion out there. There is a phobia, or there is confusion, or there is some kind of misrepresentation out there that when I am enlightened, my body is going to shift, my mind is going to shift, I'm going to become a superman, I'm going to become a divine being, I'm gonna have a deep transformation. There are like a lot of things that we think that it will happen, but in reality, when enlightenment happens, nothing changes on the outside. The perspectives will still stay as they are. Everything, you will still have to go buy your milk can for your family, you still have to drop your kids at the school, you still have to eat your 2-day meal, you still have to go to work. Everything that is external to you, you will continue to do that. But what happens when you get to that state is your internal perception to the reality changes. It shifts. Something that you used to worry, something that used to bother, something that you used to inquire, something that you used to fight with the external world, for whatever it may be, whether it is a singular thought, whether it is a feeling, whether it is something that actionably that you're working on. If all of those things are happening today without enlightenment, I have a lot of worry, I have a lot of misery, I have a lot of grief, I have anxiety, I have like 100 different things that are going on. When you are enlightened, what is going to happen is all of that is off. You are centered yourself, you are balanced, you exactly know why you are here, you exactly know what is happening, you are beyond those energies that are dragging you down. So anything that is coming in your awareness, you just accept it. And you know for a fact that you are not operating at the state of body or mind. You are operating at the state of soul. That awareness will never get away from you. You are absolutely awake and aware all the time. And that is enlightenment. So there was a question that was asked last time that, hey, what happens when I get into the state of enlightenment? Or what happens when I get into the state of void, right? I'm always in the void. What is happening in the void? Why is that I need to come to void? Why Shunya is the best way of manifesting things? Why Shunya is everything? If we really look at it, we talk about Big Bang theory, we talk about supernova, we talk about a lot of different theories as to how the world actually got created, right? From the universe, how the universe got created. When you take a step back and think through about it, how the universe got created, there was nothing and there was something, right? From that nothing, something came. So what we are calling that nothing is actually the void, right? The Sunya. From that Sunya, the entire universe started to come out. Similarly, if I take that analogy and put it to myself, because I am also part of that universe, I am also part of the nature. If I put it to myself, all the manifestation, whatever may be the manifestation that is happening, when I am in my state of void, I am able to create all of that. Like the way universe came from the Sunya as a manifestation in the state of Sunya. Similarly, when I go back into the state of Sunya, which is the void, I actually create the reality for myself, right? This is where we are saying that the forces of creation, the sustenance, and the destroying capability is not outside. It is not Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara who are managing it. It is in fact happening within you. When you are creating a thought in your state of void, you are Brahma. When you are sustaining that thought with your feelings, with your actions, and whatever you're doing, you are creating the sthiti, right? The sustenance of that, continuous thinking of that thought. Then eventually, once you aspire it, you are out of it, you just destroy that and move on, right? So where is it happening? It is happening within me, as me. I am that individual, I am that self who is becoming the Brahma, who is becoming the Vishnu, who is becoming the Lord Shiva, and making things happen. But where does this start? That's the question. The question that each and every meditator have to ask for themselves is, if the universe itself is coming from the void and universe is manifested from the void, then how can I manifest things for my reality? Is I have to go into the void, right? When you go into the void, you are in that state of emptiness, then you actually put whatever you want to put. It is like you have a book that is already written, everything is written, right? And you are trying to write some story on the book that is already written, so you cannot clearly print anything. That is how we are dealing with it. I have already thousands of thoughts that are going on in my mind, and what I am trying to do is I'm trying to get away from those thoughts and create something, create or manifest something that I want. You say, I want a very good health, but then there are 100 different things that are dragging me in my mind. The book is already written with so many different variations, so many different negative things, and I'm trying to release one positive thing out of the negative thing or a miraculous thing, and nothing is happening. So the best way to manifest is for us to go back and empty our mind. It's like a book, a page that is given to you that is empty. There is nothing in there. So now you write whatever you want to write. So you practice going into the void. Once you are in the void, right? Once you practice that process of getting into the void, and whenever you want to manifest something, you release that thought. When you sit in meditation, you go in the void, you create those energies, and then you manifest it. That is how it happens. So it is very important that we understand that from shunya, that from nothing, everything is coming. From your nothing, you are creating whatever you want to create. And this practice of going back into the state of void is, if you keep doing it, keep doing it, what happens is ultimately you come to a point where you are absolutely aware. Awareness, eruka, that's what we call it. Awareness comes to your way. What does awareness do? Awareness allows you to observe things as they are, without any judgments, without any comments, without any kind of reactions. You are absolutely witnessing everything as it is in that moment, whether it is a thought, whether it is a feeling, whether it is an action, or whether outside of these three, anything that is happening external to you, you are able to witness it absolutely with no judgment whatsoever. Neither subtle mind, nor a feeling, nor an action that happens to you. This is the state of enlightenment. So what happens when I go into this state? What happens when I practice this void? What happens is ultimate thing that's going to come to us is awareness, awareness, awareness. Buddha talks about this, right? When Buddha was asked about, how am I able to do things? All you are doing is all papas, right? He talks about this. He says that it's all sins. You are creating sins. Why? Because you are doing this without awareness. When you are aware, you cannot do any sinful things, sinful work. The reason for this is your awareness, your higher vibrations, your energy of truth will not let you do something wrong. It will always protect you, right? Because I don't have the practice of shunya, or in general, I practice other types of meditations which will help my mind to go from state A to state B to state C to state D. Always my mind is drifting from one wall to other or one side to other. I am always connected with my mind. In my view, I am thinking that in my deeper state of meditation, I am actually getting into beautiful energies. I am enjoying this, I am enjoying that. As long as you keep saying that I am enjoying it, I am having it, I am going through it, there is nothing happening to us. Everything that is happening to us at that point is all temporary. And we wonder why things are not manifesting for me, why things are not healing for me, why things are not happening the way I want them to happen. Because we are creating a blockage for our own progress. By not understanding the state of being, by not understanding the void, why the importance, what is the importance of void, we are creating energies, or we are creating the realities in such a way that my subconscious is actually running the show, not me, right? Now the second point that we also need to talk about is, how do I go about being in that state, right? Because when we talk about awareness, awareness is the ultimate thing. Witness is the ultimate thing. How do I get there, right? By constant practice. It is not about us talking about, hey, today I have done 6 hours of meditation, and then tomorrow 3 days I took a break, and then following day I came back and I took another 4 days of meditation. Again, I took a 1 week break. This is not how you get to that state. The best way and the only way to get to the state on the void, state of void, is to have a consistent practice of meditation every single day. Consistency is key to success. Every single day, we have to practice meditation, period. There is no other way. If we think that there is another way, then your mind is tricking on you. Any other way of trying to find peace, any other way trying to find happiness, any other way you are trying to feel that sense of bliss is all temporary. It's all temporary. The only way that you can get into that state, only way you can be aware is when you are in that state of void. From nothing, you start to realize that everything is happening, right? Now, how do I retain the energies? By consistently doing meditation, by bringing other aspects of spirituality into your life. That is the reason you have to have a holistic lifestyle. It is not just about doing meditation. Meditation alone is not going to get us into the state of enlightenment. Enlightenment, liberation, pure consciousness, right? Nirvana, all these are realization, all these are synonyms. I mean, they are all same, right? Moksha. So what happens in this case is, if I want to continue to be in that state of realization, or if I want to continue to be in the state of that nirvana, the so-called nirvana, then you have to bring other aspects of spirituality into your life. Just by doing meditation alone, it is not going to cut it. So what do I do? You bring your own knowledge into the brain, right? You bring like-minded people, right, into your life by getting to know them, by spending time with them through satsangams, through sajjana sangacham, acharya sangacham. You start to accumulate that knowledge, whatever you have acquired, and ask those quantified, not quantified, qualified questions, right? Contemplation and meditation, right? You contemplate upon those truths, and then you will get your own internal inquiry. Through your inquiry, you will have a lot of questions. So when you do the sajjana sangacha, satsangam, acharya sangacham, you take the opportunity to sit with the masters, with the fellow masters, and then you discuss those things. That way you understand the concept as it is, right? It is as if, like, you are teaching on a class for 20 kids, right? Let's suppose, or 20 students. When the teacher is telling same subject, right? But the 20 students understanding of the same subject differs. Why is that? It is because of their level of intellectual and the level of knowledge they have accumulated before they came to that class. On a similar tone, exactly in that very aspect, if you bring that into the spirituality, you may have read certain things in certain way, and you may have understood certain things in certain way, but for you to make sure that your understanding is in the rightful spirit, it's actually the right wisdom, you got to discuss that with your like-minded people, with the masters who are actually in the path of realization, in the path of truth. Then you can cross verify to make sure that wherever you are going, whatever experience you are getting, whatever questions you have, doubts you have, you are able to clarify them, and you always see that progression, gradual progression, right? So it is absolutely essential that if I want to get enlightened, if I want to get liberated, if I want to get realized, I want to become a realized soul, just by doing meditation alone is not going to get me there. I got to bring that knowledge through my own wisdom, through my own book reading is one way, and then doing meditation together, I build my wisdom, and then I discuss that wisdom, whatever I gain, with the like-minded masters and the greater, higher masters. That way, I have that rightful way of living, which will eventually lead you to enlightenment. So the question that we all have to ask ourselves is, why am I looking for enlightenment? What am I getting? Enlightened. You're lightened, right? You have become light to the world. You are the torch bearer now. What does it mean? Right? The simple answer to that question is, you are living as a full human being. It doesn't mean that you are getting divine powers. It doesn't mean that you are gonna have extraterrestrial, access. It doesn't really mean that you're gonna have a lot of siddhis and all. It doesn't mean any of that. What enlightenment is, you are just awakened. You are sleeping right now. Even though we are walking, we are, open your eyes, you're living the life the way you want in the state of awareness. From the enlightenment perspective, we are all sleeping because we think that my body is the way of living, my mind is the way of living, my intellectual is way of living, right? We never understand that there is something on the back that is the one that is running the show, which is my soul, right? Realizing that it is my soul, I am the soul, and everything else is part of this drama is what is liberation or enlightenment is all about, right? Until I get to that point, it is a constant practice. So if there is a question that was posed that, hey, how long do I have to practice to get enlightened? As long as you get to that state of enlightenment, you continue your practice. There is no this way or that way. It may be 1 year, it may be 10 years, it may be 30 years, it may be 100 years, it may be multiple lifetimes, right? You never know how long it's going to take for us to get enlightened. But that path is there. There is a state called enlightenment. There is a state called no worry. There is a state called no miseries. There is happiness. There is peace that we can all experience it. And the second thing that we also need to understand is we all feel that I'm doing meditation, right? I'm sitting for meditation. I'm doing meditation. I feel like I'm going to get enlightened. I'm going to get something from outside. Somebody is going to come and give me enlightenment and all, right? It's all misinformation. There is nobody who's going to come and give you enlightenment. There is nothing like a guru coming and blessing you, or a god coming and saying that yes, you are enlightened going forward and all that. It just happens in the flip of that second, where your consciousness shifts from body mind to soul. It's a switch. It's like this is off, this is off. You become the reality, right? You become the be, rather than trying to be part of the actionable things. Whether it is a thought, whether it is a feeling, whether it is a action. Today, the way we feel is everything I am doing, I am doing, I am doing. It's my body, mind doing, right? You get out of that attitude, you get out of that thinking, and then you think that everything is happening and I'm just a witness to it. That is enlightenment. That shift happens. When that shift happens, you start to realize that everything here is all drama, right? Nothing is permanent here. Whatever it may be, relationship, it may be your work, it may be your body, it may be your mind, it may be your thoughts, your health, whatever you perceive, whatever you see in this world, everything will change. Everything will change. And if you are able to stand to that and absolutely with no reaction whatsoever, that is the state of enlightenment. Absolute awareness, no matter what happens. If somebody dies in front of your eyes, you just walk away from there with no reaction whatsoever. That is enlightenment, right? So, and then there is also this powers, right? In this path of enlightenment, in this path of realization, you actually acquire a lot of powers. Some may acquire more, some may acquire less, some may not have anything. It all depends upon your state, where your mind is at, right? Some may ask for, I want some powers, right? You may probably get a third eye, you may probably get astral travel, you may probably get levitation, you may probably get telepathy. There are a lot of different things that happen to you. And then you start to hold on to one of that and then say that, oh, I got this siddhi, I got this power, I'm going to use this power for universal good, I'm going to become this, I'm going to become that. Then you have distracted yourself from the truth. Truth is very simple. And the fact, and this is where Krishna talks about in Bhagavad Gita, right? I mean, so many of them will try to get enlightened, but only some, or 1 in the 10th, right, are able to realize me. The reason for that is distractions. There are way too many distractions for us in the path of enlightenment. Even in the spirituality, if you look at it, once you come into spirituality, say there are so many directions, there are so many different techniques. Even in meditation, so many different techniques that you see. At some point, you get lost if you are not given the rightful knowledge, or if you are not given the rightful direction, either by a guru or by your scriptures or by your own understanding. You will shut up, right? At that point, you may be thinking that you're enlightened in your mind, right? It's called spiritual ego. You will feel that I have done like 2 years of practice of meditation. I have done years, hours and hours of meditation. And now I'm at a point where my mind is calm, my body is calm, so I am enlightened. You may think it is your spiritual ego that is telling you that you are enlightened. It is your enlightened ego that is telling you that you are enlightened, but in fact, you are not enlightened. Because the same old miseries, the same old shouting, the same old lifestyle that you are leading, nothing has changed. Only when you are sitting in meditation, you are having this wonderful feeling. After coming out of meditation, your day breaks as usual. That is not enlightenment. Enlightenment means 24/7, no matter what happens, whether outside or inside, you have absolutely no connection. You are not shuttered. You are not reacting. You are just being aware. You are taking them, everything as they come to you. That is enlightenment. It requires a lot of practice. It requires a lot of penance. It requires a lot of commitment. It requires a lot of dedication. You have to have greatest willpower. And the most priority in your life has to be truth, seekers of truth, right? You should become a seeker of truth. Otherwise, this will not come to you. Now, the second thing that also is a very important aspect here is when I am aware, right? How am I going to look at things? When you are aware, it's very important that you understand that it is not about that awareness that's bringing the change, right? It is about the way you look at things. When you are aware, you know exactly what is happening. You know exactly how to react. You know exactly how to see things. So it's basically you are seeing through the things. It's not like seeing things. You're not just seeing that. You're seeing through the things. So what happens in this process? Let's take an example, right? What happens, from an enlightenment perspective, how the awareness works. A simple example will be ocean. If you look at the ocean, let's take the ocean as a universe, right? Or the soul, right? The self. Okay. And then every wave that is coming out of that ocean is a human being, human soul, right? Individual soul. So what happens now is this individual soul start to realize that you are not the wave, right? I am a wave that is coming up and going, but I am the ocean of reality. And this is what we need to get to. We see the TV every day, TV or the screen every day, right? But then we are struck with the pictures that are coming on the TV. The screens keep moving, the channels keep changing, right? We are struck with that, but we never realize that the background of the TV is the reason why my picture is moving. Without that background picture of TV, right, the pictures can't move from one place to another, right? The channels cannot move, and nothing can happen. Similarly, in the world of Maya, in the world of reality, it is that awareness that is the back paint that is actually having everything to create for us. Everything is happening because of that back awareness. And when you start to realize that I am not the soul, I am not the entity, I am not the wave, I am actually the ocean by itself, I am the reality by itself, then you start to realize that everything is connected. There is no difference between me, my parents, my family, right? My extended family. Everyone is related back to this ocean. What I was referring to, the background reality, right? The screen that is running the pictures. It is the screen that is unique, that is uniform across all beings, no matter what. Pictures may come, pictures may go, but that screen will stay all the time. In a similar way, if you take that analogy back into the world of universe, the universe, whatever is running on the back, which is what we call Brahman, or which is what we call self, that is across the board. Every individual can come back. The only thing that I need to do is to practice enough to come out of my state of mind. It is the mind that is blocking me to get there. If I can release the mind, I am in that state. So what do? I practice meditation, no matter what. However many hours, however many weeks, days, months, whatever it is, right? You got to start to practice meditation. Only with meditation, you are able to release from that state of mind and actually become that screen. You are no longer attached to the picture. You're no longer attached to the relationship. You are no longer attached to the work that you are doing. You're no longer attached to your status, your life. You will start to realize that you are beyond all of that. And that which can only be experienced, right? It cannot be discussed, it cannot be talked, it cannot be seen, it cannot be heard. Only you can experience it. That's what scriptures talk about. Yato vacha nivartante aprapya manasasaha. So unless you experience that awareness is nothing but I am that. I am that I am. Until that point, enlightenment will not hit us. And that is the real true state of enlightenment. That's why the masters who have realized that they are not with the body mind conscious. They are always with the soul conscious. They are very pure. Their intentions are very pure. They only look at universal good. They don't look at the individual good. Their view of the world is not like, I wanted to bring you out of your miseries. I wanted to make you happy. It is not about the individual body mind concept. They are beyond that concept and they look at universe manifestation. Anything they are asking for the intentions, they ask for that manifestation. The universe have to give you, the universe has to manifest ABC, whatever those things are, right? Like Patriji manifested three things, right? Dhyana Jagat, Shakahara Jagat, Pyramid Jagat. He created this beautiful PSSM society and he said, these are the three intentions that this society will work on. Everybody in this entire universe have to be a meditator. A beautiful thought. Every living being should be vegetarian, right? There is no ahimsa. Ahimsa paramo dharma, right? No himsa at all. And then we have to understand to use the pyramid energy to heal our body, to get to the higher state of being, to connect to the external worlds, to go deeper into our own transformation, whatever that energy that you want to use, right, to grow yourself. He has brought all of that together. And he also got Dhyana Gnana Jagat. Gnana Jagat is all about knowledge. You have to understand more about who you are, what you are, where you are coming from, where you are going. Have these questions in your mind all the time. So what? What if? Ask the question. Okay, you have achieved you have completed some good course today. Okay, and then you got certified. Ask the question, so what? What if? Right? That is how you take it forward. It is not about, okay, I have achieved this, I'm going to enjoy and I'm going to sleep for next 2 weeks, right? Life is not about getting things and then saying that I'm done, let's move on, right? Life is all about learning. What am I learning? Where am I going? What's my state of being? Because ultimately, at some point in our lives, we have to get connected to the truth, because truth alone persists. Everything else will perish. Period. No matter how many awards I get, how many recognitions, appreciations in whatever way form I get, all that is futile if I don't realize the truth before I leave my body. So it is absolutely essential. We all have to embrace this view of meditation in our own lives. Meditation is not about sitting with God. It's not about trying to understand external parties, trying to analyze, you know, paralysis. What we do is analysis paralysis is a very good mind analogy, right? So mind, when you have something coming in your life, you start to analyze what happened to this in the past, what happened now, and what is going to happen in the future. This is a mind game, right? We got to get out of this mind game, accept everything as it is coming in our life, and make sure that we are able to get to that state of truth, because that alone will let me release from this maya of samsara, right? Otherwise, I'm stuck forever. No matter what I achieve, it's what good it is, right? It's no good at all. So that is the practice that we are talking. Even though you have hundreds of meditation techniques, you have thousands of different ways of prayers, you have millions of ways of doing a japa, right? A practice of mantra, a practice of nama, a practice of idol. I mean, there are like millions of ways, different ways to do that. And every religion has got their own way of looking at things. But ultimately, at some point, you have to hit this truth. This truth alone will let us out of these miseries. Otherwise, the worries won't go away, the anxiety won't go away, the sorrow won't go away, the fear won't go away. How many of us have the fear of death? Are we okay to just leave the body and go? Anyone? Anyone would like to say this? No matter what is happening, if I have to leave the body, are we ready to leave the body right now, right in this moment, without any regrets? It is difficult. It is difficult because death is the foremost thing, the fears, right? Highest level of fear for human being is death, right? We shy away from death. The reason for that is the very thought about death itself brings so much of energies, so much of negative energy or negative vibe in our system. You start to feel, your system starts to feel. An enlightened person is already a dead man walking. He's a dead man walking, because the person that you are talking about is no longer in that body. The I, the perception of I, the ego is no longer there. It's gone. So what happens? He's a dead man walking, dead person walking. What does he has? What does he carry? All he carries is his soul, who is a witness of that body and mind. That's it. It's an image. That's all. That's all is there in that system. There is nothing else. The I is gone. The ego is gone. So no matter what you say, what you talk, and however you want to bring them back into the life, you cannot bring them back into the life, because they have realized the life. They have realized the true meaning and essence of life. You cannot bring them back into the life. They are the actual ones who are living, right? Like Buddha said, you're all dead people walking, dead men walking. Jesus also talks in one of the, with one of his disciples, right? Or he goes into a village, and then where some of he meets one of the household wife, and then they say that, oh, we have a death in the family. He says that, yeah, let take the body and then burn it with everyone else out there. His point was, everyone else who is walking there, they're also dead people. They think they are living, but they are not living, because they are bound by their thoughts, they are bound by their feelings, they are bound by their actions. All these three are not enlightened. All these three are the results of miseries, results of worry, results of suffering, right? How can you be enlightened? So his point was, hey, you got to get to that state of being or state of bliss for you to really understand how to live the life. Go beyond the state of mind. Find a way. If that means that you got to sit for 10 hours, 20 hours, 100 hours, 1,000 hours, it doesn't really matter. Time doesn't matter. Until you hit that state of void, your meditation has to continue. Because only in that state, you actually will start to realize who you are. Peace will come to you. Happiness will come to you from inside. You cannot even explain that level of happiness that you hit. It's a mountain of happiness. It's an ocean of happiness that will come within that. It's called Brahmananda. That comes to you in that state of void. We have to find a way to calm this chatter, this mind chatterbox, right? Until you figure this out, our lives will be ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. It is because you made the decision. It is your choice. A lot of times we talk about two things: will, free will. We have a will. The will is whatever I want to do, whatever the intention I want to put, however I want to live. But this will is all bound by body, mind. Okay. This will become free will when you are connected to the soul. When you go into the deeper side of the meditation, when you start to realize that you are not the body, mind, you are actually the soul who is witnessing whatever is happening. When you come to that state of awareness, what happens is that this transition, this transformation happens within you. At that point, you'll start to realize that everything that you are doing is through your free will. Not will, it's free will. There is no destiny at that point. Today, I'm accepting my destiny for everything that's coming my way. Why should I accept my destiny when I'm the God? When I have the power to create it, when I have the power to sustain it, when I have the power to destroy it, why is that I'm accepting destiny? It's a contradiction. So the answer to that question is, when you are in the reality, when you are in the mix of body, mind, consciousness, you accept the destiny because you take the karma. You say that there is law of karma. This entire universe is learning because of law of karma, cause and effect. But when you shift your consciousness from body mind into the soul consciousness, what happens is you no longer look at the cause and effect. You are causing the effect through your free will. There is a phenomenal difference, shift in energies. Now I no longer follow the path of my destiny. I create through my free will because I'm soul conscious, right? I create everything that comes from that. So no matter what is happening, right, I'm actually able to either dissolve it or accept it to the fact and be able to come out of it, because there is no suffering for me. There is no fear for me because I'm never in the past. I'm never in the future. I'm always in the present. When you are enlightened, you're always in the present. You are in the moment. You talk about the moment. That's it. You're not worried about what has happened in the past. You're not absolutely thinking what is going to happen in future, because you are living in the moment. The entire universe energies are flowing in that moment. In that present moment, the entire universal energies are flowing. So what happens? You have connected yourself to the universe when you are in the moment. This is enlightenment. So whatever the practice I am bringing, whatever the knowledge I am gaining, whatever the like-minded discussion through Sajjana Sangatya, Satsanga I am bringing, all of that is helping me to live my life very happily, very peacefully. That is what I want at the end of the day. Money might come and go, relationship might come and go, right? Your worries might come and go, your suffering, your fears, everything changes over time. But the peace, that happiness will never go away from you, no matter what. And for that, this exercise or this commitment, this dedication is a must. No matter how occupied you are in your day-to-day work, day-to-day schedules, do not miss the opportunity to do meditation. Meditation does not mean that you sit and do it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We are not talking about meditation is about you getting into that state of void. Practice, practice, practice till you hit that state of void. Only when you hit that state of void, you will start to get the energies required for you to get enlightened. It may take 10 hours. It may take 100 hours. It doesn't really matter. Practice every day. Practice, practice, practice. And we used to talk about this in other classes, right? It is because of this sadhana that you were born in this world. To kind of take this sadhana and know who you are born to this world, right? And here, look at what we are doing, right? You are supposed to eat to make sure your sadhana is going in there. You are supposed to sleep so that you can do better sadhana. You're supposed to free your mind or divert your mind little bit so that you can bring back your focus into your sadhana. But what is happening in reality? The sadhana part of it has gone out of our system, out of our lives, and we are eating, we are sleeping, and we are enjoying. We think we are enjoying. That's all is left. So what happens? Invariably, suffering will never get away from us. So when we start to understand this, when we start to embrace it, right? How do I bring this whole change in myself? Is to put an intention to yourself. Just one fine day, sit down and put an intention, saying that I wanted to shift my energies, I wanted to come into this reality, I wanted to take a 41-day sankalpa, 21-day sankalpa, and start practicing meditation every day. So every single day, you keep doing it. After 10th day, 12th day, 15th day, you will start to see transformation happening in your system. So this is the reason why scriptures are talking about Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Asmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Tat Tvam Asi. Then the final thing, I am Atma Brahma, Pragnanam Brahma. That is the ultimate thing. That screen, that you have to become that screen. You are not the picture. You are not the movie. You are not the projector. The projector that you are looking at for a movie is the mind, right? We talked about Bimba Pratibimba Siddhanta, right? It is through mind everything is happening. All that knowledge, whatever you have accumulated over a period of time, will get tested when you start meditation. When you get into meditation, what is going to happen is all that knowledge you have accumulated over a period of time, in your 30 years, 40 years, you will start to realize yourself that where is the truth. Okay, I have read 5,000 books. Okay, out of these, how many of the books, right, are really related to the truth? How many of these are really the knowledge that I need to sustain? You will surprise yourself when you start to ask those questions and you sit in meditation. When you start to realize that half of our lives have gone with nothing, right? And why I lived because I lived. I don't know how to live, right? That's my life. And then when you start to shift from that to this side, where you're becoming more soul conscious, you will start to see how beautiful the world is. Everything is perfectly aligned in its place. Everything is perfect. I am not able to see that because I am not at that state of being. That's as simple as that. You try to go change the world because you think in your perspective the world is not working right. But when you look at it as a top down, as a soul conscious, you will quickly start to realize that everything is happening perfectly because everything is run by this divine energy, right? Everything is divine. There is nothing called imperfect in this world. Everything is perfect. There are states of soul. You start to realize that. Oh, at this stage of the soul, the soul will actually act A, B, C, D. At this stage, fifth stage, the soul will behave like this. You will start to quickly realize that. And then you start to bring all of that together. You will quickly understand that there is absolutely nothing wrong in the world. World is perfectly functioning as it should. I am the one who needs to correct myself. My view is what is the disturbance here. I have to shift my energies. I have to shift my consciousness. And that is all what is enlightenment is all about. That is the reason this is the highest learning. There is no learning beyond this, right? And this is the reason this learning does not come to you just like that. It requires commitment, dedication, and a daily practice, right? Atmavare shrotavya, mantavya, niridhyasitavya. Then sakshatkar. You will realize, you will actually go through that state of being. You will become that one, what you're looking for. And the second misconception is, I'm going to get it from somewhere. You are not going to get it somewhere because you are already that. Stop, let go of things what you have accumulated over a period of time. You will soon realize that you are that one, what you're looking for. And this requires constant practice. Right? Every second we have to be in that state. So this is the reason why we talk about this knowledge. We repeatedly talk about this enlightened knowledge. If you are listening for the first time, it is not going to get it. If you are listening for 100th time, it may sink in 1%. Because it has to connect with the practice. You have to have the practice and you have to have the knowledge. They both have to go together as wisdom, and you have to course correct your wisdom, your understanding of it, to make sure that you are still going in the same path. You're not directed or distracted, right? Because there are a lot of the spiritual ego will let you move from one side to other, and immediately something will drag you, the nature will drag you down, and then you're back in your mind consciousness. That's why you got to develop the awareness. You got to be very awake as to what is happening surrounding you and how you are looking at things and all that. This requires a constant practice. So let us bring that into our lives. Let us become enlightened in the shortest order. This life should be our last life. We are not coming back to act. Right? There is no fear. There is no suffering. It is all us doing. We are bringing fear to ourselves. You are the one creating it. You are the one suffering it. You are the one who has the power to destroy it. Just look at it that way. All right? Any questions? No questions? Either we get it or not, right? So there's no between.
ఎంత ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసినా ఆ శూన్యం అనేది అస్సలు అంతవరకు రావట్లేదండి. అది అలా
వస్తుంది
ఎంత
మేడం.
లౌకంగా వెళ్ళకూడదని ఎంత కట్ చేసుకుంటున్నా కూడా మరి మీరు 2 ఏళ్ల నుంచి 2 సంవత్సరాలు 3 నెలలు అయింది. రోజు 3 గంటలు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తున్నా. అసలు నేను చేసే దాంట్లో తప్పు సరిగ్గా చేయట్లేదు, అసలు నా మైండే సరిగ్గా ఉండట్లేదో తెలియట్లేదు. కానీ అంటే శూన్యం వస్తుంది, కొంతసేపు ఉంటుంది. ఒక్కొక్క రోజు చాలా బాగుంటుంది, ఒక్కొక్క రోజు అసలు ఒక రోజు అయితే ఇప్పుడు అసలు గంటన్నర ఎంతసేపు కూర్చున్నా, కొంచెం అయితే అసలు ఒక్క నిమిషం కూడా కుదరలే. అది
మీరు అనుకోండి మేడం, 30 సెకండ్లు వెళ్ళిపోవచ్చు శూన్యంలో. 30 సెకండ్లే.
అది ఎలా అనుకోవాలి అసలు, ఇంకా నాకు అర్థం కావట్లే.
మీకు 30 సెకండ్ల
అనుకునే
కంటే ఎక్కువ
కూర్చుంటాం.
పడుతుందంటే ఇంకా మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయాలని అర్థం.
ఒక్కొక్కసారి చాలా చక్కగా వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. అసలు నిన్నైతే అయ్యి బాబాయ్ అసలు ఇంకా అసలు ఏమిటి నేను అసలు ఇంకా అర్థం కాదు ఒక రోజు అయితే.
అంటే
పోనీ
ఇది చాలా కామన్ గా దిస్ ఈస్ దేర్ the question was how am I gonna get into the state of void is the question. So it is a easy answer is practice, right? Practice is the easiest way to do it. Now that alone is not going to bring you there. You also need to keep your mind calm and balanced during your daytime, right? If your mind is agitated, if your mind is reacting to everything, if your mind is like totally preoccupied with things, then getting into the state of void is going to be difficult, because it is also an indication that you are living a truthful life, you are living a righteous life. Some of those things are also important aspects for you to get to that state of void. The state of void means that's the energy, everything is starting, right? It's from zero, you are creating everything. So for you to get there, your mind has to allow you to be there. For that, you have to draw out all those vasanas, right? Things that you have accumulated, the trash that you have built over a period of time in your mind, by talking to people, by thinking, by putting a viewpoint, by debating, by discussing, by altercating. A lot of times what happens is mind takes the turn to say that I don't believe you. Why should I believe you? Right? It is not about what the belief system is. You got to let go of the belief system to get to the reality. If I am still believing that this is the way to do it, then my mind is stuck in that belief. When you are stuck in that belief is not reality. That belief is transcended from my ancestors, right? Until I have that in my mind is not going to let go. I'll give you an example, right? If I see a cat while I'm going out, my day is bad, right? This is a bad sign. This is a bad omen. Whatever we call in our Hindu mythology, it is like very well said that if I see a cat when I'm going out, my work is not going to happen. This is a myth, right? It has nothing to do with the cat coming. It is your mind that is blocking, or that is telling you that when you see a cat, your mind shuts down and says that, okay, done. Work is not going to happen. The moment you said in your mind that work is not going to happen, it is actually not going to happen, because you just created the reality. That is awareness. If you are in that state of awareness, what happens is, no matter what is coming in your front, you are not really bothered by it, because you're not in that mind thing. You're beyond the state of mind. So you can look at things as they are, as they come to you, and then there is absolutely no belief system that is blocking you. So this is free flow, right? So that is what void is all about. When you go into meditation, when you sit in meditation, when you start to observe your thoughts, you got to distance yourself from the thought and the person who is observing. Right now, when you go into meditation, it's like me thinking, right? Me doing it. I am getting thoughts. I am with it. These two are together. You have to create that space between the thought and you. How do I do that? One way to do that is label every thought. Okay. You said, if I go out, I will get hurt. You say, this is an insecure thought. The moment you label the thought, there is a distance between you and the thought. Right? The more you practice this outside meditation, slowly you start to drift away from thoughts, and you start to see your consciousness and your thoughts separated. Okay. This is how, again, this is one example, right? This is one way of doing it. There are other ways of doing it as well. This is one way of doing it, where you are labeling your thought and you are creating a distance to every thought that is coming in your mind. Slowly, over a period of time, in a couple of days, you'll start to see the consciousness who is actually looking at the thought, and the thought itself, there is a gap. It's like you watching the TV. That's how it becomes. Right? When that starts to happen, now you are actually in the consciousness, in the state of consciousness, right? This is what it is all about. Void is all about. So This piece of thought will come and go. Next thought will come and go. Next thought will come and go. This happens for some time. You're just witnessing. You're not going into the thinking. Right now, what is blocking is I am getting into this thinking. This thought, I am not letting it go. I am becoming this and then going through this. That is the reason I'm not able to get to void. The moment I create this space between me and my thought and I start to witness it, this happens in a very fastest way in meditation. In couple of days, a couple of weeks, whatever, right? You will start to see that you are getting into the state of void. Because now there is a space between you and your thought. You have created that space. So you have to bring certain practices or certain way of living, right? You have to have the righteous living for sure. But apart from that, you have to bring certain things to make sure that you are always aware, whether it is the thought, whether it is a feeling, or whether it is an action. Right now, if I'm the one sitting here, right? I'm the one talking to you. I have to be able to realize my thought is different from me, right? My feeling, the thought to the feeling is different. My action is different, right? I'm able to observe all these three things happening. If I am able to start to create that gap, right? Slowly, your state of void will work best for you. In the fastest way, you will be able to get to the void state. Because now you are no longer giving energy to your thoughts. You're no longer actually creating new karma, right? Because when you go into the thought, you're creating karma. So you're no longer doing any of that cycle. So what happens? Whatever the baggage that you brought, the prarabdha, everything will start to come and go, come and go, come and go in a very fastest way. You will get to the state of void. This is a way of practice, man. And the other way of practice enti, you have to patiently sit in meditation for long hours, 3 hours kaadu, 6 hours, 8 hours, whole night meditation. Ala konni rojulu, konni nelalu, ala manam cheyagalagite. If you are able to do long practice of meditation, then also you will be able to release the thoughts. But whatever may be the way you want to pursue, you have to understand that your mind cannot be preoccupied. You cannot have tensions here, right? That's where the knowledge is very important. If you are carrying tensions, if you are starting to feel anxiety, if you are suffering, if you have agony, if you have guilt, stuff like that is blocking. If it is not going to let you go into the void. You will never be able to go into the void. Good question. Any other questions? All right. If not, then we'll do some meditation. Again, meditation with the consciousness, meditation as a reality, right? Meditation as a being, meditation for blissfulness, right? Don't sankalpa rahita dhyanamu asalaina dhyana. So let's do that sankalpa rahita dhyana. No intentions, nothing. Just connect with your pure consciousness, the life consciousness, and become one with the breath. And that's how you connect to the universe, and you become one with the universe. All right, let's do that. Please kindly take off your glasses, sit very comfortably in your best postures, close your eyes. Slowly and steadily bring your attention to your breath. Make sure the body is relaxed, the mind is calm, centered. Let the breathing happen naturally. Be with your breath. Be with your breath. Be with your breath. Last 1 minute. Last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Please slowly take your hands and pull down your eyes. And gently, whenever you're ready, slowly open your eyes and look at your palms. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Masters. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity. Let us all thank the Masters, Universe, and energies we received today. Thank you all. At this time, anyone would like to share experience or any questions, please go ahead. The more we start to think about enlightenment, the more we start to think about awareness, more we start to think about getting into the state of void, we will realize that sooner, right? So invite those energies. Always have that beautiful and positive thought in your mind, miraculous thought, that you are in that state of void. You are always aware, right? And then you need the highest goal, that is enlightenment, nothing less. That's it. Bus stops with enlightenment. Then we will get all the energies what we need. Right? Next week we'll go into little deeper on enlightenment and what is the state of being, and then we'll cover a few aspects as to what happens in that state of being. Okay. No further questions, then we'll call it a night. We'll call it a day for India. So, and then we'll see you all tomorrow. Okay, have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night. Good morning, India.